Speech muted.
Clickable no break.
Hello, and the topic of today's video is how to manage a bug in Wiley Plus, which is a homework system for doing homework assignments, like accounting, for example, using NVDA or probably any screen reader. I'm also using Google Chrome in Windows 11. I've not tested this in other browsers, but I do believe that you'll get similar behavior if you're using JAWS. So if you have tried to answer questions with Wiley Plus as a screen reader user, you may have noticed that it doesn't actually take the input that you select. It will give another input. And so how do you deal with this behavior? We'll first go into that, and then I'll go into why I think it is. So let's go look at the question.
Radio button not checked. No in out of group separator space. Heading level 3. No in separators. Clickable. No indent recognition of tax benefits in the loss year due to loss carry forward requires.
The answer to this is a deferred tax asset. I'm just going to quickly hit the reset button.
Reset question button.
Just because it kind of changed. So basically what I need to do is there's two ways that I can select the correct answer, or really any answer. I'm going to go straight to the correct answer and select
Assignment
it.
content for the establishment of a deferred tax asset. Radio button not checked.
So now that I have hovered my cursor over, I'm in browse mode, and I just navigated to it with F, the next forms, finding the next form field. And I'm hovered over the correct answer. I can just go straight to the submit button now and hit submit. If you want to, you can also press enter to check it.
Checked.
But that's not actually necessary here. So I will press the next button and go to submit.
Click on submit answer button.
And you can check to see if you got the right answer by pressing Shift K to go to the
show attempt history link.
Called Show Attempt History link.
Clickable tab correct correct. Establish correct. Recognition
Yes.
of tax.
So I'm correct. Now
Reset question.
I'll reset it. So now the other way that you can make sure that it gives you your correct, that it takes your input is,
Assignment content frame clickable select
and
answer from
perhaps
the
what you might do is in forms mode.
the establishment
I
of
just switched it into forms mode with NVDA space, and now I'm just arrowing up and down, okay? So I'm
the
going to arrow
establishment
to
of a
the
deferred
answer.
tax asset. Radio button checked.
Let's try selecting the wrong answer.
The establishment of a deferred tax liability. Radio button checked.
Okay, and then you just press tab.
Save for later button. Submit question view document. Document incorrect. Recognition of tax benefits in the loss year due to loss carry forward requires the establishment of a deferred tax asset, not a deferred tax liability section.
Okay, so of course the goal here right now is not to get the right answer, it's just to make sure that it takes my input correctly, and it did take my input correctly. Now, the issue is that the answer that you selected by hovering over it and pressing enter, or by tabbing to it, and then in forms mode, and then by selecting it with the arrow keys, is not actually the question. It's not actually the answer that it's going to take when you hit the submit button. The answer that it takes when you hit the submit button is the answer that you were last hovering over. So let me demonstrate that. I'm going to reset the question.
Correct answer to your reset no previous form.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to input the wrong answer.
Assignment content frame clickable select answer from the options below grouping the establishment of a deferred tax liability. Radio but checked.
Deferred tax liability, that's wrong. And then what I'm going to do is arrow down a few
The
times.
establishment of a deferred radio button not checked. No indent the establishment of a deferred tax asset.
I'm just hovering over deferred tax asset. I'm not selecting it, but I'm just going to go to the submit button.
Clickable submit answer button.
And
Show attempt history clickable tab correct. Recognition of tax benefits in the loss year due to loss carry forward requires the.
so it actually selected deferred tax asset, even though the one that I checked was a deferred tax liability. Now here's something interesting too. If I check what's actually selected,
Select answer from the options below correct. Grouping the establishment of a deferred tax liability. Radio button unavailable checked. The establishment of a deferred tax asset. Radio button unavailable not checked.
if you listen to that, it says deferred tax liability is checked. Deferred tax asset is not checked, even though in the feedback it says that deferred tax asset is checked. Let's see which one is visually checked using Be My Eyes.
Be my eyes window back button. Please wait. Be my eyes writing a message. The image shows a question and answer interface for a practice question labeled 18.3 practice question 1. The question is about the record ASFAFAELCTED. Please wait. Be my eyes writing a message. The selected option is the establishment of a deferred tax asset.
So remember, deferred tax liability is selected according to the feedback we're getting from the screen reader. However, visually, the answer that is selected is a deferred tax asset. is the one that I was last hovering over. So for example, if you are answering questions by going into browse mode, selecting the correct answer by pressing enter, and then using the navigate by forms button to go past the other checkboxes and then to hit the submit button, it's actually going to input the last checkbox that you were hovered over, which probably is not going to be the one that you intended to select. So when you're working with Wiley Plus, you have to make sure that either A, after you make your selection, you navigate straight to the submit button with B, or you make your selection by going into forms mode, pressing the arrow key, and then pressing tab to get to the submit button. Either way, what you're doing is making sure that the last checkbox that the checkbox that you wanted to select is the last one that your cursor was hovering over before you skipped over to the submit button. That will give you the expected behavior. Probably it shouldn't really. It should probably behave a little differently. I mean, it should take the input that you selected rather than the input that you were hovering over. But I think part of what's happening here is that since they're not using traditional checkboxes, they're using something that they've customized. They haven't correctly designed it so that it gives the correct feedback to screen readers. So the visual feedback that you're getting where you see the correct checkbox, or the checkbox that was selected, is not, that actually has to also be programmed in for screen reader users so that it's giving the correct feedback. Not only the feedback on what checkbox is selected, or whether a checkbox is selected, but also the feedback on whether something has been selected. And also there needs to be input. It also needs to give you the expected behavior when someone presses enter on it. So all that stuff actually has to be manually created if you're going to do a custom input. And it looks as though Wiley haven't really done that. But I hope this video has been helpful.
Practice.
This has been an overview on how to troubleshoot this kind of unexpected Wiley Plus bug with a screen reader, and how to make sure that the answer that you intended to select is the actual one that it takes. So hope that's been helpful, and let me know what other videos I can create. Thanks.